Good evening. I'm Christina Springer, and welcome to Black News Changing the Narrative. I'm sitting in for our regular host, Terry Minor Spencer, who is out in the community doing positive work today. She'll return next Monday at 7 p.m. Referring to the Facebook group, Pittsburgh Area Police Break Room, Allegheny County Councilwoman Bethany Hallam said on Monday, "I'm embarrassed but not surprised that it was our region that was highlighted in this piece." So what was this embarrassing kerfuffle? It would seem that this group was formed for officers to decompress. However, the evidence today is it was really a group where they could reinforce mob mentality by encouraging each other to remain mired in their patriarchal white dominance, homo and transphobic indoctrination. What's the evidence? Tim Hauschak, a corporal at the Borough of Lincoln Police Department, posted a screenshot of an Allegheny County 911 dispatcher's Facebook page. The dispatcher had made a very cogent statement which read, "Blue Lives Matter, used by law enforcement supporters, is not equivalent to Black Lives Matter, because policing is a choice, not a fact of birth." Hauschak's response? "Many negative posts on police, and we should trust her with our lives?" The response encouraged the members to organize themselves into an economic lynch mob, resulting in phone calls to her supervisor demanding she be fired. The leader of the economic lynch mob was none other than that West Mifflin Bureau Police Department officer, Tommy True, who wrote, "Multiple officers should and call report it. Remember, no justice, no peace, LOL." You'll remember Officer True from a video last year where he assaulted a 15-year-old girl after responding to a call about a fight on a school bus. This is by no means even a half cup of the malicious vitriol spewed on this page or in defense of these statements. So what was the response from the leaders the public has put into office? Surprisingly, Senator John Casey chimed in with, "The police departments employing these individuals should investigate and hold them accountable. This story demonstrates why we need substantial police reform." However, most officials, as usual, are offering to put mercurochrome and a Band-Aid to a situation more like an open chest cavity. They're calling for stricter social media policies for police as a way to combat such postings. But Beth Pittenger, executive director of the Citizens Police Review Board, eloquently states, "I think that fundamentally we have to come back to the elected officials in all of these communities. The quality of policing in any community is directly the result of the elected in charge of that community." So you've got the mayor, borough manager, city council, whatever it may be. Those are the people that hire and monitor the performance of public employees, including police officers. We can't put all of this in the laps of police officers. You've got to look at the bosses and what kind of behavior are they tolerating. So, dear viewer, what are we going to tolerate from our elected officials? Band-Aids and mercurochrome? Or are we going to ask them to behave as surgeons do and go in there, cut out the malignancy, repair the damage, and close the wound? Allegheny County, it's up to you. Speaking of more, Today is March 29th. If, like me, extrajudicial executions of Black people are not a barrage of isolated incidents which nameless faces disconnected from kinship circles, jobs, hobbies, or educational aspirations. They are people with stories interconnected by white aggression and white entitlement, and they haunt me. Names who become markers for periods in my life, as in, oh yes, that happened before Trayvon Martin, but after Tamir Rice, or, oh, that was after James Byrd, but before Amadou Diallo. So like me, you're still wondering, what happened to Romeo Talley? The night Talley was executed, he was wearing a gray hoodie. The call that came through 911 stated that the suspect was wearing a black jacket. While officers were pursuing Talley on foot, the 911 caller told dispatch that the suspect holding the gun was still on Penn Avenue. Officer Robert Gowans shot him 7 times, yet claimed he shot first. The facts don't match up. The family have filed a federal lawsuit citing excessive force. According to the attorney Paul Jubas, this is not how things should be in 2020. Jubas said of the ongoing investigation, there should be transparency, there should be accountability. There should be an open line of communication between families of police violence and the law enforcement agents that are investigating. And there is none of that. So who are we grooming to take the position of district attorney? Let's refer back to Beth Pittinger's words. The quality of policing in any community is directly the result of the elected in charge of that community. Meanwhile, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, today, the trial for yet another extrajudicial execution of a Black man, George Floyd, is being held. The perpetrator in this instance was Officer Derek Chauvin. We will see if justice will be served, and we will continue to follow this story for you. Georgia. The state people were cheered for saving the election. Study your history. Every 3 steps forward comes with a step backwards, sometimes more, as we saw during the years with Trump. I'd say we took about 9 steps back. So I sure hope all the happy progressive people who spent a lot of social media posting dedicated to thanking Black women for saving the nation, I hope they sit up and pay attention to what's happening right now with Representative Park Cannon. Representative Park Cannon, a duly elected congressperson in Georgia, after knocking on the door during Governor Kemp's signing of SB 202, an election overhaul bill designed to set them back to Jim Crow days. Cannon was led away by several officers with her hands cuffed behind her back. In a statement last Thursday night, Georgia State Patrol alleges she was beating on the door to the governor's office, and when told to stop, moved on to the governor's ceremonial office door, marked with a governor's staff only sign. And then she knocked on that one. She was told twice to stop knocking on the door in light of the press conference occurring inside, and twice warned she would be arrested if she did not stop. Representative Cannon refused to stop knocking on the door. Representative Cannon was placed under arrest and escorted out of the state capitol. She was taken to Fulton County Jail and later released Thursday night. According to the arrest affidavit, Cannon faces 2 felony charges: felony obstruction and preventing or disrupting General Assembly session. So all I can ask you now is, why is it approximately 80% of the seditious, felonious insurrectionists who attempted to overthrow our nation's democracy have only been charged with gun-related offenses, trespass, and destruction of property, some of which could only be charged as misdemeanors? If you remember the Arsenio Hall show, I believe you'd be saying, right now. Let's take a break and see something positive. That was good news because you know what? All of those are Black-owned businesses that deserve your support because we can build our own and we must build our own. All right, so let's look around the country for some good news. How about Boston? A woman, a Black woman, Kim Janey, made history Wednesday when she was sworn in as the first Black and first female mayor of the city of Boston. According to Janey, she promises to bring bold, courageous leadership. Her first plan is for, of course, COVID recovery and decreasing the achievement gap in schools and economic disparities in communities of color. She says these obstacles create an opportunity to come together to heal and build a more equitable city. She's not stopping there. Also on her Black agenda is working with Boston Police Department to bring safety, healing, and justice to all of our neighborhoods. I will certainly be following along, and we will report back. How about Evanston, Illinois? It's not perfect and certainly evocative of traditional white methods for guilt relief, while simultaneously scoring a dozen ally cookies and pats on the back. But Evanston, Illinois has passed reparations measures. Evanston, Illinois is now in the first phase of the plan, which involves giving 16 residents $25,000 each for home repairs or property costs. The housing program is the first initiative in a historic plan to distribute $10 million in reparations to Black residents of Evanston, Illinois, according to the resolution. The effort is to directly acknowledge and address the historical harm done to Evanston residents through discriminatory housing practices and policies and inaction by the city. The effort would prioritize descendants of Evanston residents who lived in the city between 1919 and 1969 or suffered housing discrimination after 1969. Kansas City, Missouri levied a new sales tax to help finance its reparations goals, and Charlottesville, Virginia directed $4 million to its reparations resolution. Providence, Rhode Island began its reparations process quickly with a Community Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It's not very much Kujichagulia or self-determination, but we have to begin somewhere. And this is one start. Speaking of building a better, brighter future, let's talk about Tavon Gibbs, a senior high school student from Louisville, Kentucky. He's been accepted into 10 different colleges and has been offered more than $1 million in scholarships. Gibbs, who currently attends Fern Creek High School, received partial scholarships from several colleges, such as Centre College, Murray State, Bellarmine, and more. He's also been offered full rides from Wofford College, Berea College, and Hanover College, where he was one of only 10 recipients of the Benjamin Templeton Scholarships, which honors students with outstanding academic records and commitment to diversity education and social justice. Gibbs is waiting to hear back from one more college before he chooses. But here's a pro tip. If you have a college-bound junior, take a look at smaller schools with large endowments. Your child can sometimes receive a higher quality, more personalized education at a school which actively wants them, has the money and personnel to nurture and uplift them so that their college experience positions them for success. It's time for talking about our local news, and I am so excited to have happenings in the hood with Amber Sloan and Kim Williams.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? All right. My teammates, you ain't gonna say nothing, Kim?
Good morning. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing today?
Here we go. There we go.
I'm going to pass it to you, Amber. Give them the news.
All right, we got two events coming up this weekend. I got the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 3rd at Mellon Park from 3:30 to 5:30 from ages 12 and under. Then at Homewood, we got the Hippity Hop Easter pop-up at the Cabaret Hall on Frankstown. That's 7928 Frankstown Avenue. They will have free hot dogs, cotton candy, and popcorn for the kids. And it's also going to be a vending. There's also vending opportunities. You can reach out to Miss Simone Godson on Facebook if you're interested in vending. That's all I got, Kim.
On the Hill District, up in the Oak Hill Apartments. This is for Oak Hill residents and friends. On Tuesday, which is tomorrow, from 9 in the morning to 7 in the evening, over in the Burroughs parking lot across the street from their management building, which is 280 Burroughs Street. The zip code is 15213. They do want you to register in advance. What you can do is email your name, your number, and your desired appointment time. You email it to, here's the email address, Oak Hill Vaccinations at cjmanagement.com. Again, that's tomorrow from 9 in the morning to 7 in the evening. Also in Lawrenceville, Action Housing is now accepting applications in their 6-ward flats. The address is 3350 Penn Avenue. Also, 207 34th Street. They're accepting applications for 1 to 3 bedroom units, and these units will be available in June. And they also have 8 units for handicapped people. There's a single, then they have 2 people, then they have 3 people. Their income limits, but must be for a single person less than $34,000 a year. For 2 people, less than $39,840, and for 3 people, the income limit must be less than 44,820 people. And then the rent is ranging from $699 to $850 for 1 bedroom. For 2 bedroom, ranges starts at $995. For 3 bedroom is $1,199 for 3 bedroom. That's plus you have to pay electric. You are not allowed to smoke or no pets. It's on a first come first served basis, and they are in the process of building that now. You can also go onto the Housing Authority website and Action Housing website at www.actionhousing.org. Look under housing, and I also got a phone number for you too. It's area code 412-829-8255. 3910. For the kiddies, we're having up on the Hill District an Easter egg hunt, and that'll be on April 3rd. It's given by Team Grow. They're having an Easter basket giveaway, free hot dogs, prizes, and the location is at Heron Hill Park outside from 2 to 4. Get the kiddies up there and let them have fun. Also, on April 4th, Reverend Grayson is having a drive-by communion. That's on Easter Sunday. It's at the intersection of Francis Street and Center Avenues, and the time for that is 12:15 to 1:30 p.m. Over in the West End, they have Old School, Old Goodies Sexy Friday Club. It's every Friday from 6 to 10. It's at the Village at 48 Greenway Drive, and the zip code for that is 15204. They'll have food. They have a free pool table. It's a BYOB, live music and refreshments, and that's every Friday. Also, up in the community group, thank you to Amber Sloan. She put up a warning that there were 2 men riding around over in Mount Oliver, the Mount Oliver area. They were riding around in an old white ambulance that says Elizabeth Township on it. They were trying to snatch children up. This was up in Mount Oliver, Arlington, in the St. Clair areas. And that's all the news I have for you guys for this week. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim and Amber. The Easter egg hunts, how exciting for the children. And it's so important to get those COVID vaccinations. I got mine last week and I'm feeling wonderful and I think looking fabulous. So, so take the time, follow through on those tips. We gave some last week. We gave you some more this week. I want to see all of us healthy and thriving and having fun. And since we're going to be talking about having fun, let's throw it over to Lexi for her arts and entertainment. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. How are you? All right. Aloha, all my beautiful kings and queens. Welcome to Arts and Entertainment, where we move with the groove. Thanks for tuning into Black News, Changing Our Narrative. In today's world of the artistic melanin revolution, Black Theater United is pushing for racial equity and diversity in all aspects of theater, from staff and productions to our faces on film, representing more than just Black trauma. We're definitely in the age of normalizing and hiring our talents without fulfilling their quotas or stereotypes and racial labels. Black Theater United was formed in response to the unjust murder of George Floyd, and some leaders include Felicia Rashad, Kenny Leon, Michael McElroy, and many others. And no, it's not just about putting Black faces in these spaces just because. It's about looking at the cast, looking in the crowd, and not just seeing one hue. Diversifying arts and entertainment for talented individuals. Let's make our art more comfy and more relatable. Also, Vanessa Williams, Billy Porter, and Audra McDonald, and other founding members of the Black Theater United have recorded the song and video Stand for Change, with all proceeds donated to social justice efforts. Hashtag Stand for Change. Broadway and Beyond has launched virtual networking workshops for stage managers of color, while Broadway Records and the Black Theater Coalition have teamed up to create an album of new works by merging Black musical theater writers, elevating their voices. If that's you, get into it. Let's move to this groove. Have you tuned in to the Narrative Justice? It is an open but moderated forum about race representation in the justice media, race representation in the justice in media. It was created to improve inclusivity and accurate, substantive representation in newsrooms by holding newsrooms accountable. CRJM believes that all voices deserve an equal opportunity for access within Western Pennsylvania's media ecosystem, notably with its legacy newspapers, television, and radio broadcasts and digital operations. Through a combination of advocacy, policymaking, education, research, and reporting, CRJM works towards the creative of the creation of such an inclusive media environment. If you haven't yet, go add yourself to this Facebook group to get the scoop and express yourself respectfully. Grooving on over to production, Brittany Christian, the award-winning police brutality survivor and filmmaker who was brutalized herself by police. The network called LMLM, which stands for Love Me or Leave Me, and she has created a network that produces documentaries to help protect and empower women who survive male brutality. Brittany has fought for social justice through art for many years. After tragically being attacked by a male police officer who trespassed on her property and entered her home without a warrant, it inspired her to start this journey and encourage women who are victims of violence to seek help and make a change. Oh, and let's talk about the beautiful event Miss Renee held. It was a lovely evening of honoring grandmothers and the important roles they play in our lives. There were our elders and our youth reading and performing beautiful pieces and embracing femininity, Blackness, the roles of women and mothers that they play in our lives, and honoring the mothers of our time. The food was delicious, by the way, and catered by Cravings. Moving on up, we have a pop-up celebration for our sisters on Wednesday, March 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. for their dedication and commitment of going above and beyond to improve the lives of others. This is a celebration in honor of our legacy of our sister friend Nazora. Enjoy this time to fellowship and love one another. Let's challenge ourselves to be optimistic this week. Anytime you catch yourself being a negative Nancy, pitch a positive rebuttal to your situation. Can you move with that groove? I guess we'll find out next week. Make sure you're following COVID-19 restrictions, social distance, mask and shields up, wash those hands, and enjoy this long overdue weather to shake off that seasonal depression.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Lexi.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to take another little break to share and spotlight some of the wonderful people making our world a brighter place by offering goods and services that you can enjoy. Okay, welcome back. So those are some great tips on some Black businesses in our area that you can support and who have been supporting us. Before we say goodnight, I'm going to take a short moment to grind that axe. It is my humble opinion, which is not the opinion of QK Productions, that we Black people have a self-love problem. We didn't arrive here on this planet with it. It was installed into us through generations of beloved ancestors who did everything within their power to ensure that we arrived in this moment and in this place. We have to give thanks and gratitude to them because, well, let me just say, Lucille Clifton expresses it best. Won't you come celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model, born in Babylon, both non-white and woman. What did I see except to be myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight to my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me, and has failed. And so here we are today, living and breathing and eating, because yet again today, patriarchal white aggression has failed once again. If you're in a space right now with other Black people, turn to them and say, I love you because you exist. I'll take a moment. I love you because you draw breath in your lungs. I love you because your heart is beating. I love you for defying whiteness and just waking up this morning. Too long we have allowed them to train us that when we gather in numbers and tend to ourselves, there will be retaliation in one form or another. From Rosewood to Tulsa to the MOVE bombings, we have learned, they have trained us to keep ourselves separate. They have trained us to think that their table is more beautiful and that we want to sit there, even though we built that table ourselves and need to merely reclaim it for our own uses. And we must unlearn that. We must defy that order. We must begin to learn to love each other from ratchet to respectable and everything in between. We need to stop nitpicking and polarizing. We need to devote our energy to healing each other. We need to call each other in to our highest selves. And most importantly, we must stop looking for scraps and crumbs and false declarations about reparations. Now is our time to build. And Lexi showed on her segment ways that we are building. Amber and Kim on their segment showed ways in which we can come together as a community, ways we can build, ways we are making for each other to be healthy and strong. So let us love one another, Black people. Let us take the table and come together at it lovingly, knowing that when we gather, we are a source of untold power. We are beautiful and we are strong. We are creative and we can create a healthy, positive community around us, one person at a time, just by listening, just by loving, just by being gentle and tender with each other. Now is the time to build. The axe is sharp. Go cut some firewood. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Terry Minor Spencer will return. Peace and blessings.